But in the same museum sits an ancient translation of the Bible, which is taken from the American Indian Territory here. That's outdated. It outdates and it's older than its Septuagint by 2,000 years. It's 4 leather parchments. So here sits that old Indian Bible. It contains Deuteronomy, or the study of the universe, and how the tribes used to balance the earth with the rest of creation. And the treaties I discussed were all based upon peace, otherwise you could not be a sovereign. Sanctioned by the Creator, Great Spirit, and the women. You could not represent a sovereignty. So the Indian of America has been learning about these teachings 2,000 years before the white man even started the King James Version. Interesting. Of course, over 99% of American Indians, they don't practice the original religion because the United States passed a law. And on November the 20th, 1890, you heard of Wounded Knee? 300 men, women, and children slaughtered. It was all over religion. Now in 1890, they made this ancient Christian religion and its culture hostile to the United States. Did I say Christian? Before Christ. Christ was just somebody who was trying to bring back the rituals that go with the teachings. They killed him for that. Of course, these Indians are given new religions. The new religions are called Wovoka. Wovoka. I'll get some peyote and called Native American Church now. Registered under the American Indian Religious Freedoms Act, 1978, property of the United States of America, made up by the United States military, given to the Indian, so he won't do the ritual properly. The other religion, Black Elk. Native Studies, Indian University. Black Elk speaks 7 rights of the sacred pipe. It was made up by the United States military upon the slaughter of Wounded Knee. The other one, Handsome Lake Code. That was to destroy the Iroquois Confederacy. 52 nations strong. George Washington created the 6 nations. So that was to destroy them, and it started to work with those 6 nations. There are 7 now, I think, whatever. That was to break it up, to undermine the power of the women, of the clans, clan mothers. So those are the religions. There's another one that Spain introduced to the Indians of Central and South America. It's called Esetai. So they introduced these religions after a few million Indians were killed. But scholars say it was more like 100 million Indians. Perfect genetics wiped out. For example, Columbus, and this is documented, he killed 10 million Indians in the Caribbean in 10 years. He had the exclusive right, by their law, the right of discovery, which is a false one, of fresh meat supplies between here and Europe. Read some of his journals. He was so good in this business, it's hard to find an Indian descendant in the Caribbean today. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to read to you the command to Queen Elizabeth and her response. It's all law. Every bit of it is law. Now, she wasn't the only one that received this. I have to fulfill a responsibility as a representative of a territory, be it small, and a people who are now tribal. So I must do it in a manner that is so unusual, and I couldn't write to her as Dear Mum. Couldn't do it. As kind and gentle as she looks. So here it is, official notice. To the Crown of England, April the 25th, 1995. Gregorian years. Upon the sovereign authority of the Nihilak tribe, exact people, and pursuant to the enforcement of its laws and jurisdiction, as is consistent with the law of nations, international law, you are commanded to cause all agents and assigns of your Crown Corporation, known as Canada, to cease and desist from committing the crime of treason against the law of our territory, the women. Now I'm going to read them their crime. The treasonous act of assuming jurisdiction in our territory has caused our clan members great hardship. So it is imperative that you inform all your clan mothers that the law of our territory takes precedence, as our clan mothers are the first law of the land. Back to the Great Spirit now. They know it. As is prescribed by international law, that which is known to you as the casus omesis has been and will continue to be the first law of the land for our tribe. The allied armies of the tribes of the world, together with the other nations of the world, are alerted to this command and will be called upon by our tribe should you fail to honor the rule of law by disobeying any of these commands. The clan mothers of our territory hereby direct that discussions between you and our headman begin immediately, that any and all such discussions take place between you and our headman only. No other voice is authorized to speak for our tribe. Now, in closing, there was one chief of the past who was the real thing. He was appointed, he was the real chief. He was appointed by the clan mothers of the Dakota Empire. His name was Sitting Bull. And to honor the chief of the past, I closed with his words. It is by the will of the Great Spirit that I address you on behalf of our tribe. The will is the women. The Great Spirit is chosen as the angels or daughters of his to run the territories on the earth. Wapu Pirishu, White Thunderbird Man, Okimau, headman for the Nihiawak tribe, Asniuchi territory, Rocky Mountains. That went off. It says, the private secretary is commanded by Her Majesty the Queen to acknowledge the letter from your chief and to say it has been passed to the Governor General. So she knows what to do. The Governor General is her representative here in what they call Canada. Short and sweet. So, acknowledging the letter. Was that a letter, dear Mum, or some? Was that dear Mum? Is that a letter? In the international language, letter means law, to the letter of the law. And they make sure that this law is honored to the letter. And I've been in front of courts where I didn't even have to present this. I just presented myself as to who I was, and they couldn't disqualify me from speaking on behalf of Indians to get these Indians out of that courtroom, which is the courtroom of a country they don't belong or can never be a citizen of. Now let me qualify that. So Indians today may think of themselves as Canadian, but it can't be. No, it cannot be, because it violates international law, and it also violates the white race doctrine. And that doctrine is, it's called, okay, their religious belief is, what it comes down to is that, the white race are to rule the world by the will of their God. It's called manifest destiny. That's what everything is based on, okay? When they come and steal land, and then they get into another law called the right of discovery, which is actually, Columbus and them were the first licensed international pirates, where they could go and Cortez could go and destroy tribal people. There's documents I can show you where they had to wait. They couldn't attack over here. They had to wait. But they knew about this long before Columbus. They knew about the tribes. They knew about treaties, secular treaties made with one of the chiefs of Europe. We have several treaties with white tribes of Europe. Several treaties. Where we look at things in this manner today. Whatever happened in the past is history or his story. When I say Great Spirit, who do I mean? Let's get into this part of it. It won't be too long. So what happened prior to Columbus coming here, 1492? Now remember, 1492 isn't the exacting time. Remember, time dispensations. So what happened in the past is the calendar known as the Kaliug was the ancient calendar of the ancient.